Hello everyone, this is Dark here. This is my review on Star Wars Jedi, which is a mini-series of comics that focus exclusively on specific Jedi. There's one on Mace Windu, which is the one I'm reviewing today, Yoda, Count Dooku, Eris Akira, Shak Ti. The reason why I'm reviewing Mace Windu's alone, because I feel like doing a video on this particular comic is justified, considering that it's separate from the defense of Camino, and I feel like cramming this would just get off topic with that review, which is why I'm splitting it into this video. Now, the Mace Windu story, which is rare amongst stories in the Star Wars expanded universe, I'm aware there is a Star Wars Tales, story featuring Mace Windu, but I don't want to really touch that when I'm reviewing this. The Star Wars Tales are muddy when it comes to canon, and I'd rather stick to what I 100% know for sure is considered canon, and that's why I'm talking about this particular comic. The story for this comic is it takes place right after the last comic that I reviewed, and it's discovered that there's Jedi that are not fighting in the Clone Wars, and they want to know why. That there's a potential schism that's happening in the Jedi Order because of what happened on Geonosis and the Republic in general. So Mace Windu goes to investigate. Now, this is one of the rare occasions where you do have a Mace Windu-centric story. Now, why is this important? It's important because Mace Windu doesn't really have that many stories, and it's nice to have a character, that's really cool to get his own, story, even if it's like one issue. It's 44 pages if you're reading the Signal issue, though you can find it easily with the trades. Why do I like this story? Well, not only is the art good, the story is really good, and we actually have a Jedi Master who served the Jedi Order for years betray the Jedi Order. Yes, there is Jedi that actually betray, the Jedi and side with Count Dooku. One of them, if you've read the Quillen Voss story arc, all those that featuring him, you would know who he is. The reason why I like this story also is, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe Asajj Ventress made her first appearance in Granatoski's Clone Wars. Well, that's what I believe, so I'm going to stick to that unless I'm wrong. This is her first comic appearance, and if you've never seen Granatoski's Clone Wars, and this is the first time you've seen Asajj Ventress, she leaves quite an impression, unlike her TCW counterpart, that looks like a joke. Not only is she able to basically hold off a bunch of Jedi at once, even managed to actually hold her own against Mace Windu of all characters, it showcases just how menacing she is as a villain. And I really like that. This Asajj Ventress is a badass. And it's only like a few panels that it shows in this issue of how skilled she is as a lightsaber duelist. Now, why do I like this? One, the first appearance of Asajj Ventress in the comics. Two, a Mace Windu story that is actually good, because the Star Wars Tales, which I'm not even going to bother with that stuff, is crap. Three, John Ostrander is an amazing writer, and I argue that he's one of the best when it comes to the Star Wars expanded universe. And it just makes me excited to read more of these stories. I give this a classic rating. In fact, this story is so easy to find, especially now that the Marvel Epic collections are out. You could find it in the first volume, along with everything else that's featured in this, Dark Horse volume that I own. It isn't a hard story to find. You can easily go to your local Barnes & Noble or whatever you use to buy your books. Hell, you could get the whole run of this digitally. I recommend you pick this up. It's worth your time. And if you're a Mace Windu fan and you want a good Mace Windu story that isn't plagued with awful, artwork, Disney Star Wars canon, or terrible writing, I think you should pick this up. This is Darcenovia, over and out. May the Force be with you. And next time, well, we're probably going to go back to the books or we're going to go back to the comics. Whatever I do first. After all, I'm doing this the best I know how. And I also want to be able to enjoy myself in the process. Later, people, and see you next time in another video.